The footage was grainy, but clear enough. At 2:17 a.m., the kitchen light flickered on. My heart sank as I watched myself shuffle in, eyes half open, raiding the fridge. I was sleepwalking, eating my own food, oblivious. But then, something else moved in the shadows behind me, something that wasn't human, watching silently as I chewed, froze, staring at the screen, my finger hovering over the pause button. The thing in the shadows didn't move like a person. It was tall, too tall, its limbs unnaturally long and bent at odd angles, like a spider trying to mimic a man. Its face, if it had one, was obscured, just a smudge of darkness where features should have been. It stood perfectly still, watching me as I, unaware in my sleepwalking haze, shoveled leftover lasagna into my mouth. I rewound the footage, hoping it was a glitch, a trick of the light. But there it was again, slipping into frame at exactly 2:15 a.m., just before I appeared. It didn't enter through the door or window. It was just there, like it had always been in the corner of the kitchen, waiting. I checked the other nights. Every time I sleepwalked, it was there. Always watching. Never moving. My stomach churned as I realized it wasn't just the food. The fridge was always stocked with exactly what I craved: lasagna, ice cream, cold pizza, like it was being replaced. I hadn't questioned it before, but now it felt wrong. Too convenient. I set up more cameras the next night, one in every room. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. At 2:17 a.m., the kitchen camera caught me again, sleepwalking, eating. The thing was there, closer this time, its head tilted as if studying me. But the hallway camera showed something worse. Another figure, identical to the first, stood outside my bedroom door, motionless, like it was guarding it. I haven't slept since. I've tried staying awake, locking the doors, even boarding up the windows. But every morning, I find crumbs on the counter, dishes in the sink, and the footage shows me eating with them. Was there, closer this time, its head tilted as if studying me. But the hallway camera showed something worse. Another figure, identical to the first, stood outside my bedroom door, motionless, like it was guarding it. I haven't slept since. I've tried staying awake, locking the doors, even boarding up the windows. But every morning, I find crumbs on the counter, dishes in the sink, and the footage shows me eating, with them watching, closer each night. Last night, the kitchen camera caught something new. A third figure, smaller, crouched under the table, its featureless face turned upward, inches from mine. I don't know what they want, but I found a note on the fridge this morning in my own handwriting. Stop looking. I don't remember writing it. I stared at the note, my handwriting jagged and uneven, like I'd written it in a trance. Stop looking. The words burned into my brain, but how could I? The cameras were my only proof. I wasn't losing my mind. I tore the note down, crumpled it, and threw it in the trash, but my hand shook as I did. The air in the house felt heavier now, like it was pressing against my skin. I checked the cameras again, obsessively replaying the footage from the night before. The third figure under the table was clearer this time. Its body was small, almost childlike, but its movements were wrong, jerky, like a puppet with half its strings cut. It didn't blink, didn't breathe, just stared up at me as I ate, its head twitching slightly with every bite I took. The other two figures, the tall one in the corner and the one by the bedroom door, stood as still as statues, their smudged faces somehow attentive. I decided to stop sleepwalking. I couldn't let it happen again. I downed energy drinks, set alarms every hour, even tied my ankle to the bed frame with a bike lock. But when I woke up or came to, I was in the kitchen, the taste of chocolate syrup in my mouth, a sticky spoon in my hand. The cameras showed me wandering in at 2:17 a.m., same as always. The bike lock lying open on the floor like it had never been fastened. The tall figure was closer now, its long fingers brushing the edge of the counter. The one by the bedroom door had moved too, inside the room, standing over my empty bed. The small one was still under the table, but it was holding something now, a piece of paper. I zoomed in. It was the note I'd thrown away. I couldn't stay in the house anymore. I packed a bag, grabbed my keys, and headed for the door, but the moment I touched the handle, the lights flickered. The cameras still live on my laptop showed all three figures turning their heads toward the front door, toward me. I froze. The air grew thick, almost suffocating, and I swear I heard a low hum, like a distant machine waking up. My phone buzzed. A notification from the camera app. Motion detected in basement. I don't have a basement. I bolted for the car, not looking back, and drove to a motel 2 towns over. I thought I'd be safe. But when I checked the footage remotely, it was still recording. At 2:17 a.m., the kitchen camera caught me shuffling in, eating a slice of pizza from a box I didn't recognize. The figures were there too, but there were more now. 5 of them, scattered across the room, their smudged faces all tilted toward me. The small one under the table held another note. This time, the camera caught the words clearly. "We're hungry too," slammed the laptop shut, my pulse hammering in my ears. The motel room was dim, the only light coming from the flickering neon sign outside. I checked the locks on the door, twice, then pushed the dresser against it for good measure. My reflection in the cracked mirror looked hollow, eyes bloodshot from days without sleep. "We're hungry too." The words clawed at my mind. What did they want? Why me? I hadn't eaten since leaving the house, too afraid I'd somehow slip into that trance again. My stomach growled, but the thought of food made me sick. I opened the laptop again, unable to resist. The C camera app was still running, the live feed showing my empty kitchen. Nothing moved. No figures, no me. Just the hum of the fridge and the faint flicker of the overhead light. It was 2:10 a.m. back at the house. 7 minutes until whatever happened next. I scrolled through the older footage, desperate for answers. I noticed something I'd missed before. The food I ate each night wasn't just replaced, it was different. The lasagna had mushrooms, which I hate. The pizza had anchovies, something I'd never touch. The chocolate syrup bottle was a brand I'd never seen, with a label in a language I couldn't read. It was like the food was being left for me, tailored to lure me out, but wrong in subtle ways. At 2:17 a.m., the live feed glitched. The kitchen light buzzed, and there I was again, shuffling in, holding a sandwich I didn't recognize. My face on the screen was blank, eyes unfocused, chewing mechanically. The figures were back, 5 of them, just like before. The tall one loomed behind me, its fingers now grazing my shoulder. The one from the bedroom stood by the sink, its head tilted at an impossible angle. The small one under the table was closer to me, its paper-thin hand reaching toward my leg. 2 new figures crouched in the corners, their smudged faces pulsing slightly, like they were breathing. I screamed at the screen. That's not me. But it was. Or something wearing my face. My phone buzzed again. Motion detected in motel room. I whipped around, expecting to see those things behind me, but the room was empty. The camera app didn't cover the motel. I hadn't brought any cameras here. My breath caught as I noticed something on the nightstand, a plate with a half-eaten sandwich, identical to the one I was eating on the screen. The motel door rattled. Not a knock, but a slow, deliberate scrape, like something testing the lock. I grabbed the laptop and backed into the bathroom, locking the door. The rattling stopped, but the silence was worse. I opened the live feed. The bathroom door creaked, the lock clicking softly as if it had never been secured. My heart pounded so hard I could barely hear the footsteps, those light, skittering steps, growing closer. The laptop screen was still black, but the camera app pinged again. New camera detected. I hadn't set up any new cameras, yet the feed flickered back on, showing the motel bathroom from an impossible angle, above me, looking down. I was there, hunched in the corner, clutching the laptop, my face pale and eyes wide. I didn't dare look up to find the camera. The figures were in the frame now, all 6, their smudged faces pulsing like heartbeats. They didn't move like before. They glided, their forms flickering as if struggling to stay solid. The tall one reached out, its long fingers brushing the air above my head. The small one crawled across the floor, its jerky movements faster now, clutching a crumpled note. I didn't need to read it to know what it said. The plate on the nightstand was still there when I glanced through the open bathroom door, the sandwich now swarming with tiny, writhing shapes that weren't flies. The food smelled wrong, sharp and metallic, like blood mixed with sugar. My stomach lurched, but a part of me, a sick, primal part, wanted to eat it. I gagged, forcing the urge down. The footsteps stopped. The air grew so thick it felt like breathing syrup. My laptop pinged again. Motion detected in your location. The feed shifted, showing the motel room's main door swinging open. I hadn't touched it. Standing in the doorway was me, or the thing wearing my face, holding a fresh pizza box, its eyes blank and mouth smeared with sauce. It shuffled toward the bathroom, the figures parting to let it pass. I scrambled to my feet, clutching a towel rack I'd ripped from the wall as a makeshift weapon. The thing that looked like me stopped at the bathroom door, tilting its head. "Hungry," it said, in my voice, but slower, like it was tasting the word. The box opened on its own, revealing a pizza that pulsed like it was alive, toppings squirming under the cheese. I swung the rack, but it passed through the figure like smoke. The other figures closed in, their smudged faces splitting into jagged, toothy maws. The small one pressed the note into my hand. "Eat with us." I screamed, dropping the paper, but the words seemed to burn into my skin. The last thing I remember is the taste, bitter, warm, alive, filling my mouth as the figures leaned closer, their hands guiding mine to the food. I woke up in my kitchen, back at the house, crumbs on the counter, the fridge stocked with food I'd never buy. The cameras were gone. No footy, no proof. Just a note on the table in my handwriting. Welcome home. Now, every night at 2:17 a.m., I feel it, the hunger, not mine, but theirs. I try to stay awake, but my eyes get heavy, and the kitchen calls. I don't know if I'm eating for them, or if they're eating through me. All I know is they're still here, watching, waiting for the next bite.